Why did the Soviet Union's economy stagnate? Imagine building a house with a blueprint that never changes, no matter how much the house expands. That's similar to what happened to the Soviet Union's economy. It started strong but then hit a wall. To understand why, we need to look at how their system worked and what went wrong over time. The Soviet Union used a centrally planned economy, meaning the government owned everything and decided what to produce, how much, and at what price. This plan aimed to grow the economy fast, create jobs, and provide social benefits. In the beginning, it worked well for rapid industrialization, especially after World War II. But as the decades went on, problems started to show. The decision-making was all in the hands of big government bureaucracies. These groups lacked the flexibility and local knowledge to respond quickly to changing needs. They followed the plans, but those plans became outdated or unrealistic as time went by. Unlike in capitalist countries where prices go up and down based on supply and demand, in the Soviet Union, prices were fixed or controlled. This meant there was no real signal for producers to make more or better products. Workers and managers had little reason to work harder because their wages didn't depend on how well they performed. If you worked on a farm, you might not see a direct benefit from your effort, so productivity stayed low. The focus was on heavy industry like steel, coal, and military hardware. Consumer goods like clothes or appliances were often in short supply or poor quality. This imbalance made everyday life harder for ordinary people. The economy also relied heavily on exporting oil and gas to earn foreign currency. When global oil prices dropped in the 1980s, the Soviet Union lost a major source of income. Without enough revenue, it became even harder to keep up with the needs of the population. Attempts to fix these issues didn't help much. Reforms under leaders like Khrushchev and Gorbachev often made things more confusing instead of solving core problems. Sometimes, wages were increased by printing more money, which led to inflation and shortages. Price controls kept prices low, but that meant goods and services couldn't keep up with demand. Subsidies grew, draining government funds, but shortages remained. Some argue that the core problem was a departure from true socialist principles. Excessive bureaucracy, focus on heavy industry, and little say for ordinary people made the system inefficient. External pressures like the arms race and falling oil prices added to the strain. The Soviet Union's experience shows that while central planning can lead to rapid growth at first, it struggles to sustain innovation, quality, and living standards over time. Without market signals, incentives, and competition, the economy becomes rigid and slow. Natural resource dependence and policy mistakes made it vulnerable to shocks. These lessons reminded us that economic systems need flexibility and responsiveness to keep growing and improving.